Hi there, welcome back to my channel. Antoinette here. I've got a little bit of a haul, which for people following my journaling videos is no surprise because they're aware that I had a binge in April, and I've also had a bit of a splurge in May, but I normally do. The underlying reason for being okay with some of my splurging was because it's my birthday, so it'll be my birthday next weekend, and some of these things were treats to myself, but treating myself also rolled into a little bit of distraction purchasing. I think we've all been there. Sadly, my dog passed away. So Maximus, the noisy one on my videos, always slurping water and licking his paws very loudly next to me. He passed away on 10th of May. So that has left me to a little bit of trying to distract myself every so often. Despite still having Marjorie, who, does a great job. And it has also resulted in some kind of, I suppose, emotional purchases, but still very considered and still knowing that, ultimately it's my birthday and I'm gifting to myself. But two reasons why I think my spending has been slightly bigger than it ever would be normally. And I think it's only fair to explain that to you because this isn't a normal situation for me in either account. These are... It's an extraordinary type of purchasing that I've done this year. And I think the last time I did this was maybe 3 years ago. So it doesn't happen very often. But let's get going. If I start with books, I did some purchasing on eBay. So for eBay, sometimes I buy secondhand books, sometimes I buy brand new books. This is a secondhand book. It's absolutely hilarious. It's meant to be an A to Z on how to present yourself in elegance or as an elegant female in society. And here's where I'm at the moment. I have another book, which I think is called Elegance, and it was written more recently. I want to say somewhere in the last 15 years. And I have that book, and I didn't realise it was based on this book. I never really read the back to check how the author of that book came about. So I decided to look this one up. I managed to get secondhand. It's in pretty good condition. It's a white book otherwise, so all very elegant. When it arrived secondhand, however, this page was kind of ripped out or cut out. I can't quite work out what it was, so I've had to re-sellotape it back in just to keep the binding from coming out because it was exposing when you turned over here. The binding was all exposed in there. So you can just see I've done some crude sellotaping and it's done the job. Just that one page, because I don't know if it's missing like a white page that would have held it all together, but whatever it is, almost brought the book to pieces. So I put it back together and it's doing very well, I'm pleased to say. Yes, I think it's like this white page that's been taken out and causing problems. So that's my book, which I'm nearly halfway through. It's like an A to Z on how to be elegant. Is there an example in here? So jewellery. So it talks about jewellery and how you should adorn yourself and how you shouldn't adorn yourself, referring to brooches if you have like a unattractive face, basically using a brooch on your shoulder along with your pearls to bring the eye down and away from the bottom half of your face if it's not deemed as what would have been attractive back then. And I can only assume this is written for like the 1930s kind of lady, like what to wear if you're being invited out at 6 p.m. versus 8 p.m, the type of attire that you'd expect to wear, and the same going through the daytime and seasons, what you should be wearing at 8 a.m. in the morning. Husbands, hems of skirts. So it is amusing. Being short is deemed as a dressing issue for a lady, so therefore you might have to, same as being extremely tall, so therefore you might have to, and having freckles, flaming red hair, so you might have to adapt your style in order to allow for such things. How very dare we? So that's the A Guide to Elegance on All Occasions by Genevieve Dariaux. And it's amusing. Don't take this with a pinch of salt, by the way. It's not a serious book. The other book on elegance is where I learned how to care for cashmere, however. I don't think I ever finished that one either. I need to get it out and finish it. But yeah, that's where I learned to care for my cashmere and my wool jumpers and things. So I think the other one's maybe more of a tongue-in-cheek to this, but with some nowadays care bits of, advice. So, and then sadly, last week, I've kind of lost track of days since Max. Maybe it's been around the same time. So last week I found out that Vincint Pitisci had sadly passed away and hasn't been well since, I think somebody said since November. And I hadn't realised it had been that long, but I had noticed that his Tuesday catch-ups hadn't been being posted. And I just assumed he was taking a break because I thought he was, planning on doing some stuff. So I did head off over to Amazon and bought up the rest of the books I don't own of his. So I think I now own his full collection because I just didn't want these to disappear out of print forever. I don't know what his wife's plans are for his books, but I love Vincint Pitisci's stuff. Recommend him over probably most authors for any newbie to start with. Obviously not this one, but I thought this was quite cool just to show you. So it's the Roadhouse Reader. So this is one he says you stick in your pocket and you take with you to, your road shows, wherever you're doing readings, just to keep, when you're tiring, you've got a quick, you major arcana as well at a glance, and some keywords is the words I'm looking for. And you also have the nights and the numericals at the back there as well. So I think that's actually really cool. And you've also got space there to write into the margins and put more keywords onto that as well if you wanted that to be your pocket guide to your tarot. But obviously you can't put lengthier meanings in there, so it's just got to be keywords and symbols and as such for that one. So I've got that one, and it's only, as I say, it's small. This Stray Tarot, How to Survive as a Tarot Reader. I have been contemplating wanting to be just a tarot reader for a very long time, but I'm aware it's probably not as well paid job, so I never went for this one, but I've decided to take it because he has his insight in here on how he's managed to do it for years, hosting tarot, going to road shows and things. So this one is just simply about that. There's no pocket tarot guide in here. He has a great sense of humour. So we have the Conversations with the Tarot of the 22 Arcana. Now, he puts some of these in the back of his books. So there's a couple of stories in the back of a couple of my books. And they are just really amusing. So he picks up a card and kind of, I think, we talk about journeying into a card and journaling about it. It's kind of here. So he has the Chariot, tells you what, I presume that's the deck, 1966 GTO. Always associated the Chariot to confidence, moving forwards without doubt. So sure and so adept that it cannot be stopped from moving forward on its objective, an unstoppable force. That's when I hear a knock on my door. I open the door and there stands the charioteer. And then he has this kind of conversation between them. And I love his imagination with this. So I've got that one. And like I say, all the cards are in there. And there's a little bit of write-up for Forward with the Mona Lisa. If you thought the smile on my face looked good on the classic painting hanging in the Louvre Museum, you should have seen the smile on my face when Vincent asked me to do a foreword in his book. Oh, brilliant. See, that is what's going to be missed in the tarot community, that and all of his free stuff on his YouTube channel, which used to be called Pitisci, but it's now called Tarot Maps, and his website is tarotmaps.com if you wanted to see if you can still purchase one of his Marseille decks. But as I say, I don't know what the current status is with those. The Essential Tarot, Unlocking the Mystery. So just changing the way we understand tarot, offering wealth of card meanings as well. So in most of his books have the card meanings. I don't know if this is part of his Conversations with the Tarot. That one might be. But you have, he does the positions that the cards land in. So I wonder what spread we're looking at here. 6 card spread. So he this is what I like, and this is what's unique about him. He gives you the card, and then he gives you like a big text write-up. Not too big, but a fairly good. summative text write-up to understand what that card means in that position. And here you've got like the negative aspects, the positive aspects. So, and each book has a bunch of different spreads. Some repeat because the Celtic Cross is a big one that he's used, and some don't. So here we have the Gypsy spread. And he goes through that one. So he even tells you about each part of it, you know, the goal, the weakness, the aspect, 3 cards that you've got for each one. There's his Celtic Cross. Is it the Bare Bones Tarot, where he does every card in every position of the Celtic Cross? So if you ever want to know about what a card would mean in that position of the Celtic Cross, for anyone using his questions for Celtic Cross, the Bare Bones is the one that you want. So he has like his creativity stuff. He talks about how tarot mapping, he talks about critical thinking in most of his books. He has his critical thinking, he has his scamper techniques. He has always quick reference lists for us to look at. And these are, you know, where we get the really good stuff. So this is when I said in one of my videos, I said, you know, if you buy one of his books with the intention to turn it into your journal, so you haven't got to create this journal, you've got this here already, use this with the full intention of writing in it and turning this book of his into your tarot Bible, your personal little white book. And you can always add stick bits of paper in there and stuff as well if you need to. So that's what I am recommending anyone does who's starting out or who still hasn't quite put their book together and doesn't know what to do with it, because I'm exactly the same. I get to like card whatever every time of the major arcana and I'm just like, I cannot. This is like pulling teeth. I can't do it. Maria, Lady Knight of Avalon, took her favourite deck and wrote all over her favourite deck with all her keywords. So her little white book is her favourite deck. So yeah, that's another way of doing it, which is what inspired me to start writing on the borders rather than cutting borders off. I'll write on the borders of cards if it's a deck that I'm not so familiar with. So that's this book. You know, of course, I haven't read these. These all arrived like a day or two ago. The Genius of Tarot, A Guide to Divination with the Tarot. And again, I simply purchased these, so they're on my shelf now, so I have them, and I can then access them if I want to, because I didn't want to, like with the very late Poppy Palin, I didn't want to end up in a position where you couldn't get hold of the stuff that I knew I'd wanted and was on my wish list, and like, you know, I will buy that in a sensible time frame. Suddenly, you know, stupid things happen and time frames get moved. So we have the major arcana in this one, consciousness and awareness. We have a description, a traditional meaning, a slight shift to the meaning, quirky, and then random word associations. So let's look at the random word associations. How do you see this card as representing consciousness? What word associations can you make with able? Okay, so there's our random word association. Quirky, the racetrack, Indy 500. Imagine a checkered flag in his raised hand instead of the wand. Start your engines. The horizontal figure 8, the infinity symbol above the head, looks like a racetrack. How can you associate car racing with your question? Like just that, right? Out of the box thinking, pushing your imagination, your concept, how you look at the cards. And, you know, without charging hundreds of pounds, thousands of pounds to do a course to learn this, like this man is amazing. And yeah, I recommend this man over most courses these days. And his books and his wisdom and his YouTube channel and all the free resources that he's given to us. So he's got his north, south, east, west spread there. Celtic Cross again, as I said, usually is in every one of his books. I think he has 2 types of Celtic Cross where he changes the questions in here. And he has mindset of a card reader, where he touches on things that you might find in some of the other books. So each book usually touches on something, and then the next one sort of follows off with the idea and repeating some of the other stuff. So it's 3-dimensional card spreads. And then conversations with the cards. So yeah, there's usually a chapter or 2 in each book with some of his conversations, which I love. And I've also got them all in one place. So those are my Pitisci purchases, all from Amazon. And yeah, as I say, I have the bare bones, and can't remember what the other one's called, but it's red. The Genius of Tarot, Breaking the Rules of Tarot, something like that. So there we go. Unexpected splurge, but much needed. Two other things I got from Amazon. I think it's these ones. So Kim from Abundant Life Tarot has a deck out, which I've purchased as one of my make playing card purchases to get them over. I ordered 3 decks at once, basically, to make it more worthwhile for the tax and shipping. So I'll show you that one in a minute. But this one led me to looking at these ones on Amazon and purchasing them. And consequently, I now have probably 4 or 5 more like this on my wish list that I will slowly work my way through the rest of the year probably. But these weren't that expensive. So if I start with the Messages of Cosmic Oracle cards. It's a 42 card deck, comes in a 2-part box. It's not the easiest to open. I will say, you don't need a little white book with this. So here are the backs, the fronts. It's like a glossy double-sided cardstock. I think it's just a thick cardstock. I don't think there's a core in these things. It doesn't say anything about that, so I can't find any information about what's in them. And these are, so you get your information here. So stop trying to carry the world on your shoulders. Some of them just say, look, make time to play, have fun, be free. So sometimes you get a double message. Sometimes it's just, all one saying, guilt is a normal feeling. So just breathe in and let it go. So these are kind of messages from the universe to you. So I think these are like a nice little wrap up to give at the end of a reading. And I quite like the images. I like the colour. It felt right because, we've had the recent geomagnetic storms and the aurora borealis being visual all over the place. Although I slept right through all of them because I was exhausted from caring for Max at that point. And he did actually die on the best day of the viewing. So I kind of looked at that as a little parting gift from him. I was like, what a magical day to, go to the Rainbow Bridge and leave us with a visual display in the sky, even if I missed it. I think I can be forgiven. So yeah, so this is this one, which is quite nice. I mean, some of the decks that I've purchased have already had walkthroughs and are up on the channel. Not everything gets a walkthrough always, just because that's how I am. Then we have the Place Oracle. So this one's a 78 card deck, so it's a big deck. And it gives you messages and guidance on where the events will unfold or which place to visit to achieve the desired outcomes. So no guidebook with this one because everything you need is on the deck. Okay, they can be used in conjunction with any other tarot deck as well. They're not tarot. Oh, it's a 78 card deck. It's not a tarot deck. So obviously it's a tuck box. I think it's very well produced. It's the same. It's a bit more glossy than the last deck. These are the backs, of course. I think that's a gorgeous back, and the fronts. So it's not in any particular order, but just so you can have a look. This is a very popular free image, I think, on Canva and lots of other places. So birthplace of dreams, the pursuit of goals, belief and possibilities. You have your heartbreak place, lost love and grief, memories of heartbreak. The beach, sun and sand, relax and leisure. Countryside with rural, beautiful, peaceful retreat, simple living. Our lighthouse, guiding light, symbol of hope and watchful sentiment. The temple, so your spiritual practices, meditation, reflection, spiritual guidance, path through. So it's not easy to read all the writing on everything, but persistent cleanliness, water and renewal. The kitchen, tools and preparation. streets, urban landscape, pedestrian traffic, sidewalks and crosswalks. So, if you wanted to know where to go for inspiration, and you put this card came out, streets, and you're basically looking for your urban landscape to wonder and people watch and open your eyes, is what I would say. Sidewalks, crossroads, go and sit outside a cafe and watch what's going on around you. That mindfulness, smelling the roses type thing. So it's got 78 different places. You've got your garden, government buildings, laboratories, hospitals, zoos, libraries, financial centres, tavern. I love the fact that it says a tavern. I don't know anywhere that uses the word tavern. So drinks and beverages, pub foods, tavern traditions. I mean, to me, that would be an old-fashioned pub. Museums, casinos, farming, getting in touch with the ground, gym, beauty salon. I wouldn't mind that one coming out for some advice occasionally. Swimming pools if you're a water baby. Fuel stations. So this one's interesting. Refueling stop, convenience store, charging station. So if you're asking, what's going on, why are you feeling so low, and you've got a fuel station, you need to stop and recharge yourself. Nightclub, go and dance it off. Sky, beautiful cards. So hopefully you can see why I've been drawn to these. They're still colourful, they're still kind of my palette, but very different to my normal thing. They're not collagey, these are, probably free art for public domain with some of these, carefully chosen words. Not all the images go with the words, I will say that. I can't remember what it was, but there's one that I thought was a beautiful spot, and that's not what it was. It was like a warning card. Let's see if we can find it. It's probably going to be one of the last ones because they're not in alphabetical when they come. So this is exactly as they came. I haven't gone through and shuffled anything. I've literally flipped through them. Parking lot, parking spot, park and go, parking garage, parking lot. I'll pull a second card of that one to see why the parking lot. Ship, hotel, amusement park, I think we're coming in. Luxury boutique there. Perilous realm. Now I thought that was a really cozy looking place. I was like, oh wow, yeah, look at that. And then I read the top. And then it says danger lurks, treacherous paths, ominous shadows. I mean, I'm assuming this is meant to be like a poisonous greenhouse. It's the only thing I can think of here. It kind of goes with the Shadow and Bone series that I was reading recently. I think it's Shadow and Bone. I've read. I've listened to so many audiobooks lately that they're sort of merging into one as well when it comes to stories. So that was that deck. So as I say, those cover my Amazon haul. Make playing cards. The other two decks I think I've talked about and are up on my thingy somewhere. This one is huge. I think it's like 160 cards. So it's the Secrets Revealed True Crime Oracle from Kim at Abundant Life Tarot. And it's on true make playing cardstock. So it's obviously got a core in there. It's sort of satin finish. These are slippy because they're from NPC. You will need to split the deck in order to shuffle. So I just bring up half a deck. So this is, if you go to her channel, she searches or she does readings about crimes that have remained unsolved. And this is part of the reason I believe that she developed this deck, because she loves using these types of things and doing these types of readings. I mean, she's really good at them. They're fascinating to watch. And I just love seeing her using her layering of decks and things as well, which as tarot readers is what we all want to do, isn't it? Is layer our decks. So this one, she's talking about releasing it in smaller packs and add-ons. So I went ahead and bought the whole deck as it sits right now. So we have things like, so there are some kind of like scary words in here, I suppose. But that's the point to it. If you're asking what's happened to X, what are the circumstances around, the person that's gone missing or the accident that's just happened, or, if you're looking for that type of clarification. you know, what was the motivation for whatever crime has just happened, and of course using this on TV while you're watching TV, you know, something like EastEnders. I bet this deck would work wonders with a film, murder mystery, horror, a thriller. I bet this would work well with as well, because we don't just need to use our cards for that. We can also use them while we're sat in real time watching TV to see how our cards are unfolding. It was how I was taught to learn to read cards. So I think you get in the message with these ones. And again, there's no little white book. There is no PDF as far as I know at this point. It's the words on there, that's it. They're quite straightforward. But I don't know if there'll be more cards being added to this over time or not. But I was just like, how big can a deck get? In a minute, it's going to need its own box, right? And you'll run through it like a kind of indexing, bibliomancy type reading. So yeah, that's that one from Kim from Make Playing Cards. The other two, so it was a Zaney Tarot and Rachel at Amethyst Ascension's spread deck, which is an amazing deck and much better than the new spread deck that's out, personally, my opinion. Other decks that I have. So the Mystic Sketch Tarot came. This one's created by James Bradshaw. It's available on Etsy. It's a hand-drawn deck, Marseille style. I did do a walkthrough of this one and a couple of pairings. Beautiful deck, absolutely beautiful, and hopefully he will clearly I got them all over the place. Drives me potty when I see this. Sorry, making you all feel sick, because I don't read reversals. I'm not actually sure how they get in there. I've just put the deck together upside down, evidently. Yeah, so that's the Mystic Sketch Tarot. This was an unexpected purchase because he kept it quiet and last minute released the fact that he had this. So UK based artist, so I purchased that one and it arrived within 2 days, I think, for me. And then my other big splurge back in April that I had to wait for arrival, or was it February? It might have been February, to be fair, was these. Oh my God, I have been. This guy's artwork is just beautiful and dark and mysterious, and you know, all the things that I like, and stirring my kind of imagination in my mind, but I can't never put my finger on why they're stirring my mind. So he did like bundles and put them up on his Etsy, so you could buy them in bundles, which made them cheaper than buying them at full price one at a time and getting them across. Because again, that's the problem, shipping and taxes, especially if I'm purchasing from Etsy, because Etsy charged me like 70 quid for shipping and taxes on top of the cost of a deck. Yeah, so purchase these. Let's have a quick sneaky peekies. So the Shadow Journey Tarot, oh, just look at this. 2 of candles or wands. The pages in this deck, when you put them all out and look at all the cards together, look at that page of candles. The pages stand out. And when I commented on his page on Facebook, you know, your pages are just amazing. He did say the pages were the first ones designed. So I thought for myself, it was lovely that I spotted that they were such a gorgeous set of pages, and pulled out the cards that were first designed as part of this deck. 7 of Cloaks. So yeah, I think this is gorgeous. Another deck that I've managed to put upside down cards in. I think I make myself laugh. I see this with a lot of tarot readers though, don't I? Don't we? You know, they get halfway through and they're like, why have I got upside down cards in my deck? Because I don't riffle, I don't bridge. So it's not like who's that? The Empress, look at her. yeah, so that's the tarot. Then I have the spirits and shadows. I have some in here because I've already pulled them out and made my deck. And these are the ones that didn't make it into my deck, so I put these ones back. So you can just have a quick look. Not because of anything particular, just because I went through all the words that I had. And like that's a beautiful one for reincarnation, melting. So yeah, I just pulled out the words that I felt were going to be, because there's quite a few for like magician, manifestation, path. So this is the spirits and shadows. We have the dreams and incarnations. Again, these are what's left. So these are beautiful. Guess why I took the weaver out. It sort of didn't mean as much to me, the cards that I pulled out. Okay, that's those. We have the wisdom of the raven. I haven't pulled anything out of this one. This one I just use as it is, as its own deck at this point in time. I might go again and go through the cards. Look out for chaos, love that. The citadel, it's kind of similar to the house, so I would have put them together. Fixation. Isn't that a great guardian card? Clearly I'm shuffling these into the decks. So we've got that one. So this is again Etsy, Facebook, Shadow Art Finds. Thief. Remember, this one is the Wisdom of the Raven. So it is a specifically raven-based deck. And just perfect for that raven energy that you might want. Dark enough. Right, look at that Luna. And Crow is one of my all-time favourite love stories, so makes sense that I might like the Raven deck. And what I did with the other two, just to keep you all up to speed. How are we doing? We're not doing too bad on time, are we? That's cool. So these two I laid out on the table and then put them together in a deck. So I now have a deck that's this size, and it has two different backs on it. And obviously if I merge in the Wisdom of the Raven, it'll be three different backs and it'll probably get a bit bigger. But I might still be able to wheedle out a few words in here in order to put the, if there's crossover type words from the Wisdom of the Raven. And these are the cards that you haven't seen. So we have things like Mask, the Sage, the Illusionist, Searching, Terror, the Secret, the Key, Patience, Protection, Strength, the Sun, Abandonment, Transformation, Flying. Quite like that one because for me it's like perspective. The Poet, Foresight, the Alchemist. So I think you've seen me pass a few magician cards. This is why I pulled the Alchemist out. Marriage, Power, Pursuits, the Adversary, Mortality, as opposed to the Death or the Tombs, Greed, Intellect. I love the fact there's an octopus. Heartache. What do we have? One of them, Thief of something. We have Grief in here. Resolve. This is the Guardian card I currently have. That's the back. I might swap that one if I do merge them. It'll be the Raven Guardian that comes in place. Traveller, Instinct, the defender, the healer. So you have like your archetypes as well in here. Storm, the visionary, which could also be the seer. So I guess I do have the seer in here as well, but you know, the ancestor, the ghost, love, wisdom, the victim, the door of dreams. So I passed a few. We had the corridor, the window, the path, and something else, and I went with the door of dreams. Otherworldly. We have passion, to go with love, truth, because I think they're a bit different. Reversal, death card, hunter, ascension, messenger, the dreamer, desire, divergence, the phoenix, I love that, rebirth, the deceiver, peace, remembrance. That one just it's got something about that image, I think, with the red moon, blood moon, mischief. That reminds me of, there's a card in the Oracle of Shadows and Light by Jasmine Beckett Griffiths, and the main writer of the deck, whose name has just gone out of my head. There's 3 witches on there that give you a warning, so that sort of reminds me of that deck. Freedom, seeker, trapped, our novice, which is like a page, isn't it? Betrayal, the philosopher. Now I know I've got 2 octopus cards in here. I haven't quite decided, but as I say, this is my first go at pulling the deck together, and then I'll see how it works and then see what I want to take out. There's another reflection card, and we're back to the mask. So yeah, that's the one that's on my table as it gets used currently, with the Wisdom of the Raven. I don't think I've got anything else here. I think that's plenty, is it not? That is plenty for a splurge, a splash. Oh my god, what on earth have I just purchased type thing. Yeah, there we go, we've got them all in. Until the next one, I'm wishing you all much love and light and happiness. May you find peace everywhere you go, and joy in everything that you do, even the small things, because life is short. Take care. Bye bye.